その一線を越えたらいつか勘違いするからな。俺たちは正義の味方になるな。
I love this scene from 2015's Kamen Rider Amazon Season 1. In this one scene, you're told exactly what you need to know about the good guys and the bad guys. Spoiler alert, there aren't any in this show. It's Hey Big Pimpin', can we talk about morality and storytelling? By definition, morality is the principles concerning the distinction between right and wrong or good and bad behavior. Using what someone is taught or has experienced in society helps make up the backbone of what they believe, meaning you know good or bad based on what you consider good or bad, based on how you're taught. It's the job of the writer to create a morality within their stories, sprinkling their heroes and villains, if any, in there in the progress. The most common approach is the standard one-dimensional good versus evil conflict. This approach establishes a clear line between good and evil characters, and characters who share similar morals and ethics will fall to one of the corresponding sides. From there, pointing out who a hero and a villain is shouldn't be too hard. Then there are writers who take it to the next level, creating a story where characters are woven within a gray world, where they struggle, suffer, grow, and live by each of their ethics. These stories aren't held down by the typical one-dimensional good versus evil conflict, but allows an audience to make their own decisions based on what they believe is morally correct. Game of Thrones, The Wire, Sopranos, Breaking Bad, True Blood, even True Blood, all of these shows don't have a clear line of who's good and who's evil, just a bunch of characters doing things together in this environment, so everything is left up to the audience discretion. 2015's Kamen Rider Amazon Season 1 serves as a great example of a series that uses that gray world and gray morality and gives us an unbelievably great show about battling Guppy Man that has a strong layer of moral complexity to it. And I think I can do it. I can prove it. Explaining Season 1's plot in a nutshell is pretty simple. Amazons, beings that can mimic humans, regress into ravenous flesh-eating monsters when their medicinal suppressants and their armlets run out after about 2 or 3 years. It is then up to the efforts of the story's writers and extermination team created by a powerful pharmacy company to take them down. Now, normally, if this was just a typical Sunday morning Kamen Rider series, this is all you would need to know about, like the Amazons, which are the quote-unquote bad guys of this series. But killing off Amazons would usually be considered heroic, since they're man-eating monsters that poses a threat to humanity. But most of them just want to live their lives in peace, and some of them have to go through their lives every day with fear of becoming monsters and being hunted down. There will be many of them who will have to end lives because it's necessary for them to survive. It's not easy, even for them, but they'll have to do it. This makes them more than just a typical monster of the week like a regular writer show would. Instead, they are given a degree of humanity that causes you to feel for them. So when the audience watches the main protagonist, who is also an Amazon, become conflicted about killing others like him, his flexible sense of morality shows to be a double-edged sword for his team. When the audience begins to learn more about the Amazons and understand more about their birth, the question becomes, well, does killing them actually fix the problem? In storytelling, this is called an all-gray conflict, which creates no lines of good and evil within the world. None of the sides in the story are completely good nor evil, yet all of them have a strong and just reason for doing what they do. This type of writing makes the actions of the characters feel more impactful to the plot while maintaining the suspense and turns that a story can take. The characters that act in that conflict can also be anywhere in terms of personality, from honorable to downright slimy. This leads to characters being rewarded or punished for their ethics and code, as well as showing off their layers and flaws. The audience is then left to decide whether they feel that person is morally good or evil. Takayama Jin perfectly exemplifies this, as his mission is to destroy every single creature that he helped create prior to the series, which are the Amazons. This gives him a very nihilistic, rigid, and well-defined rule set that makes him overall uncompromising, dangerously single-minded, and willing to do whatever it takes to see his mission through, no matter the cost. Even the extermination group, who like Jin have a well set of defined rules for their survival, make very notable exceptions for Mamoru, who is also an Amazon. These exceptions lead to a snowball effect of events that lead a divide between them, and what was the symbol of their unity and friendship proves to be nothing more than a reminder of a foolish fantasy that could never exist. Amazon Season 1 ends on a pretty bittersweet note. By the end of the series, the pharmacy that hired the extermination team reveals that they created the Amazons and then created a mass murdering plan, successfully killing 3/4 of the population. But the plan goes off unexpectedly and everyone's caught in it. All of the surviving Amazons, realizing they cannot live in human society, leave for seclusion. Jin survives and is driven mad by his lonesome crusade against the survivors, and the extermination team is back together, hunting surviving Amazons. And at the very end, we see the true big bad, the man who orchestrated the entire creation of the Amazons and the cause of this unwanted, gory death and suffering, bask in the results. So yeah, this isn't a happy ending at all, but it's an ending this story should have had. Gray conflicts give way to gray resolutions, and these resolutions are formed by the interwoven decisions of all of the characters in the story, and as a result can end the story with more questions than answers. By the end of the series, because the gray conflict doesn't tell you who's good or evil, the audience is left to decide once again who is. They must decide if the acts that these characters have made throughout the series justifies where they are now. And sometimes that doesn't mean you're gonna have a happy ending. The extermination team, just like they did in the beginning of the series, hunts for money as they do now, but now they do it with less members. Jin's mission to continue killing the Amazons continues, but he's become more of a villain than a hero. And Haruka still looks for a place to belong, even though that might seem real hard to do in this world. And that's what makes this show so compelling. Tearing away from the one-dimensional good versus evil conflict, introducing this line, introducing this gray reality, this reality where there are no heroes. By the end of the series, you're left feeling uneasy because you wanted it to end it differently. You wanted Jin and Haruka to team up. You wanted friendship to save Mamoru. You wanted that gold brace to give Haruka some kind of cool power up. You wanted this to be a writer's show. But unfortunately, it's not as simple as black and white. Hey Big Pimpin', thanks for watching. I have been pulling my hair out about this video for like the past week and a half since I finished it, and I just needed a bunch of kick in the pants to tell me to, it's fine, just upload it. I mean, it's not perfect by any means. I definitely said 2015 instead of 16, but hey, you know what? I admit it. I'm a man. I make mistakes. I really enjoyed making this video though, so I want to definitely make more in the future. We might do some about writing since like I'm back into doing the writing stuff now. Other than that, Big Pimpin', please enjoy the rest of your day. I'm Lambo, Calrissian, reminding you guys to keep calm and Toku